Well, here we go about, what is it, freedom of speech?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh, yes, me too. So here you are, typical CNN and left-wing media telling you, you could say what you like so long as you say what I like. If you don't say what I like, then you may not speak. And there you go, cut her off. And that's what they did. And this is an example of what's to come. This is an example of what's been going on now for how long? A decade? This is insane. And the idea that she kept talking, I was so happy. Just keep trying to get your point out there.
I mean,
really,
I can understand, and I'm sure you being a newswoman, you want to defend your colleagues. I'm sure she has a lot of respect for them, so I get that instinct. But this was just, from my point of view, such an unforced error because it gives credence to the big idea that the media is against us and all of this. So it's just like feeding right into that. Exactly. People can point to that and say, oh, that's proof. Whereas if she just handled it a little calmer,
that's right,
and let her say her little whatever talking point she had to say, and then she could say something nice about her colleagues and not create this big moment that now is so controversial.
That's a good point.
Well, like I said, so long as what you said to the point of we're worried and concerned about what's going to happen on Thursday.
Well, right. So do you think that do you think that almost reveals?
Well, sure. I mean,
how CNN is going to handle it.
Yes, and the idea that they're going to have the ability to cut the mic at any particular time is not fair. You know, they should be doing it the other way. But I find this really hysterical. I mean, when you were playing the clip, I was laughing because I said, this is just so typical.
And you know, the other thing is, like, Jake Tapper is a tough guy. He can handle,
of course,
he can handle a little criticism. He's not going to wilt.
Right, yes.
And you know, he's good at what he does. I'm sure he'll do a fine job as a moderator, but this might kind of like tarnish it a little bit. That's what I'm concerned
I think
about.
so. I mean, he can dish it, so he can take it.
He can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right. Speaking of taking it or dishing it, let's move on to this. Former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. He was a guest on Real Time with Bill Maher on Friday, and he had this to say about former President Trump's conviction in New York.
The Attorney General's case in New York, frankly, should have never been brought. And if his name was not Donald Trump, and if he wasn't running for president, I'm the former AG in New York, I'm telling you that case would have never been brought. And that's what is offensive to people. And it should be, because if there's anything left, it's belief in the justice system.
Cuomo pointing out he never would have tried the case. Now, he's not only the former Democratic governor of New York, he was also the attorney general. So, Laura, when you see a Democratic lawmaker and lawyer call out what many Republicans, many Americans are citing as lawfare, does that say, it really is, because it's not one side against the other? This is someone who, at least in this realm, knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing, it's always fun to talk to former politicians because they can be very honest. They can actually say whatever they want.
That's a good
which
point.
Is really liberating. And he's on with Bill Maher, who's the king of saying what he actually thinks and not doing anybody's talking points. So I wonder if maybe it's a little bit of a dig at the current AG. As we were talking about
that
but
before.
I think on the other hand, you could also say the same thing about Hunter Biden. Would that case have come had Joe Biden not been president? I don't know.
Interesting. What do you think, Vickie?
I agree. I actually, though I am a politician and I am,
but you still say what you want.
But I do say what I want. I am liberated, yes, indeed. I think that what Cuomo did was speak the truth. To point being the former AG, and there could have been a little undercurrent there for Tish James, but the bottom line is the people have had it. Right. They have no more trust in the justice system. It does. We feel as if it doesn't exist anymore. All for one and not for the other. I mean, no, that's not the way this works. No. And yet Trump has been tried for a $130,000 case against some prostitute. I mean, give me a break. This is nonsense. So once again, Cuomo did come out, though, and he did say what was right, what Bill said following him about taking over the world or whatever he said.
I think that's interesting. We're just about out of time here, but I mean, we know that Bill Maher, I mean, traditionally very, very liberal, but he's kind of balanced out. I will say he tends to be practical, but Laura, to your point, he definitely says what he thinks.
And he's funny.
He is funny.
Which is why he's so appealing.
Exactly. But I will say we did ask to get him on
American
Agenda. He has a new book. He's been making the rounds, and I believe what he said to our bookers was expletive starting with an F, no.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, well, that's Bill. But I would love to go on that show.
I know. Well, Bill,
would I love to go on that show. I could throw the Fs around as easy as you.